Welcome back to the Conspiracy Outpost. This week we're talking about a group of experienced Soviet hikers who lost their lives 64 years ago in northern Ural Mountains in February of 1959. Was this the cause of aliens, government agents, Arctic dwarfs, abominable snowmen? Well, you'll just have to join us and find out as we dive into the bottom of this incident at Dyatlov Pass. I'm your host, Casey.
They like to be called Arctic little people now, and I'm Mike.
And I'm Jagged Rock Joe. I don't know if that fucking matches the mountainous terrain we're gonna delve into today.
I'm pretty sure I said Dyatlov Pass. I'm pretty sure I said it wrong.
Dyatlov
This-
Pass. That's
Dyatlov Pass is how you're supposed to
Dyatlov
say
Pass?
it. Fucking retarded.
Diet Love. Dude, that's what I was saying before. It was like Diet Love, like it's a diet soda, like it's a soda brand.
Dyatlov Pass.
Diet Love.
No, it's not Diet.
The listeners will get it.
You guys know what we're talking
Like,
about.
when I looked at it, knowing that it's a Russian name, I went Dyatlov Pass.
That's why I said it kind of a little Russian. I don't know if you guys
Yeah.
caught it a little. My accent game is not strong, let me tell you.
Yeah, but
But,
that head game is.
Yeah, that head game fucking sucked a fucking golf ball through a garden hose, let me tell you.
Crack your beers and start your engines.
So with the Dyatlov Pass, this whole incident. So this group originally had 10 members, but one of the members ended up one of the members ended up dropping out, and then there was 9, obviously, because 10 minus 1 is 9. And there were 7 men, 2 women, and they planned to ski about 200 miles over 16 days. They were going to summit over several peaks, and along the way, allowing time for them to come back in the spring semester. Now, they caught a ride with some lumberjacks at some point, and they followed a sleigh driver north, and then the group skied out of an abandoned village on January 28th, making it to their final campsite on February 1st, and that's when all shit fucking broke loose. The official report says some died of hypothermia, others were found with unexplained gruesome injuries, which we'll get into later. And
It's good to mention that or whatever that they were experienced grade 2 hikers and had ski tour experience, and would if they did return, they would have received the Grand 3 certification, and Grand 3 was the highest certification in the Soviet Union at the time, and it required you to have traveled 300 kilometers or 190 miles in the
see, I didn't look. I didn't even know that, and I didn't even look into it.
Yeah, so I mean, they were all experienced. So this is
Who
what
the
they're
hell is counting the miles that they ski? They just go up a mountain, be like, "Well,
They just-
this mountain's
they just-
about a mile long or some shit like that." It's like I did this 300 times.
They just had like a little clicker thing they'd click every time. They're just like counting the whole time. It's like, and 1 kilometer.
Yeah, it's
Like, when did this happen? What
wild.
year?
59.
1959, yeah.
59. Yeah, they didn't have no like fucking step
They had
counters.
GPS.
Step counters for skis. You don't step with skis, you slide.
Yep. But they were said to be experienced hikers and skiers, so they should have had the knowledge to be able to do all this shit.
But like, how do they calculate the amount of distance you went on ski? Like,
I don't know how you officiate that shit.
maybe if they're like long distance skiing, they're doing it
Gotta
for
get
like
the hiccups.
travel.
It could be
not-
a map. It could be a map already mapped out. It's like from this area to this area is that. I mean, were they
maybe.
going?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Or it's like, because like if you go to like a ski resort like they have in America and other places, I'm sure, bro, you're going down like one mountain with different slopes. You know what I mean? So it's like, are they just like, I did this slope like 500 times, and it's like it's like half a mile. Like, what the fuck are they like? Is that how they're calculating it? And how is it being How is it like? Do they have to sign an affidavit with the government? Like, what? How do they know? How do you prove this? Is the government official coming out? It's like, okay, fucking 190 miles. Let's do this.
Look, we all know,
This is Russia.
look, we all know the Soviet Union was very flawed.
One, I'm pretty
God
sure
damn it.
skiing 190 miles takes some time. You know, because like that's right, like riding a bike.
Some fucking
that-
leg work too, man.
That's
and,
like that's
and arm
that's
work.
yeah,
Shit.
that's
Dude, I
like-
got the fucking hiccups. This fucking
say when you're going because you're gonna probably be going like pretty fast some points when you have
Syndrome.
downhill sections. Like, who the fuck is out here being like, okay, let's 190 miles is gonna take a couple days.
Well, that would be Igor Dyatlov, the leader
Hold
of the
on.
group.
Let me check something real quick. Okay, I'm going to Google Maps. I'm gonna just go somewhere 190 miles away, and I'm gonna put the bike setting on and see how long it'll take.
I wanted to know why they're because there was fucking 10 of them like all together originally, right? And one of them was their fucking instructor, an older man. Everybody else was in their fucking early 20s, whatever. Why the fuck was like one of the students the leader of the fucking the thing? Like
well, probably and my reading, I think he was fucking goddamn hiccup.
was the instructor from their school, or was he an instructor from the area?
The younger guy.
The older guy with the 37, 38-year-old.
You're roboting.
So
Hold on.
if you ride a bike for
You're good now.
Well, almost 109 miles, but like 180 miles if you ride a bike, it's gonna take you like 18 hours.
That's not even that long though. Over
Yeah, but what
2
fucking
weeks?
what government officials like gonna watch you for 18 hours?
People would know nothing but our hands. We're just gonna
Same
pour
ones that are spying on us.
Who's the member of the government whose job it is to stay with a fucking skier for 18 hours?
Oh, that would be Dosair. He is
I think the only way they would be able to corroborate their story is like by pictures or like, oh, this is how long this should take you. If you return sooner, we know you cheated, you know.
All right, you guys got me. It was my great grandfather, Joseph, with an F, not a PH. And he just he would drink vodka and just fucking watch fucking people trek through the snow. Good one, they're doing good.
Yeah. Now,
They drink what they called damn it, I wish I knew how you say four in Russian. Those four locals, they keep you warm, put the hair on your chest, and green in your stool. Anybody else get colorful shirts with their locos, or is it just me?
I don't drink locos no more. I'm not fucking white trash.
Yes, you are. We established this earlier.
I was kidding. I haven't drank a loco in fucking. I don't even know how long. It's been a long ass time.
So I was just curious: was this guy their instructor from their university or institute, whatever? Same thing, being stupid. I don't know.
Say again, because I'm fucking retarded. Are you talking about the older guy or the younger guy?
Yeah, the older guy, and because the younger guy, one of the students.
Well, I got some theories for the older guy.
Oh, you think it's a pervert?
I
mean, the way they got out of that tent, I'm starting to think
he was 38 and everybody was in their 20s. So it's like, I don't know. Let me see how old he was. I don't know if he was 38.
It was
but he was
37 or 38.
37. Yeah. So he was the only 30-year-old, damn near 40-year-old. Everybody was in their early 20s.
Yeah, and then that's what happened in the tent. But I mean, we'll get back to that when we get to the tent part. I have some perverted theories. Yeah.
Well,
so
I was just gonna say, like, they were found. So everybody was fucking dead at this point, and they were found 8 days later, and the search party was dispatched. Oh, and there were 8 days. Fucking goddamn hiccups.
If you're not white,
The
you guys are
irritating
pounding your head like, bro, I don't know what you want.
Like, bro,
Every time I'm trying to talk, no,
it looks like
so
Casey was pumping himself up to fight these hiccups.
Dude. Oh, but before the 8 days thing,
fucking
it was
goddamn.
like 5 days through the trekking that Yuri Yudin headed back because he was ill, and the
He's
other
a
hikers
pussy.
kept
He's
on.
like, yeah, that's not.
Yeah, he's the only pussy that lived. Little did he know that was the last time he was going to see his friends alive and unraped by the instructor. We have the instructor's name somewhere. I know I do. Let me find it. So because I feel
Well,
like
the
there's gonna be a lot
instructor
of
was
callbacks. Simeon Zolotaryov. Okay, we're just gonna call him by his first name, Simeon. Or
but he wasn't the leader of the party. That's
No. Yeah,
okay.
yeah, Igor Dyatlov or whatever what the incident's named after was the
Dyatlov.
leader. Yeah, he was 23, but I was just wondering what the instructor's job was to just make sure none of them.
Dyatlov is how you say it.
Yeah, the instructor just there to monitor to see them successfully do it without. I don't. The instructor's like, fuck yeah, I want to be on as a crew member. I don't fucking know. I was just trying to look at what his name was because I was making callbacks to him being a pervert. His name's Simeon, and I can't say that last name. It's Zolotaryov.
So a bunch of make believe words.
Yeah. I'm just gonna refer to him as Seaman the entire time. Simeon.
No. So the hikers, they when they were 8 days late from returning from their search, not returning from the search, when they're fucking hiccups, man. When they're 8 days late returning from their
Did you bring up the fact that they? Oh, sorry.
A search party was dispatched, and the missing hikers were found, and the remains of the tent were found as well on the side of a mountain called, I can't say this, Kolat Shaiki. I don't know. It's fucking Russian.
It's the indigenous.
I need to take a. Hold on.
So the mountain literally translates to dead mountain in the language of the indigenous Mansi. I don't know. People of the region. Yeah. So it means dead mountain from the indigenous people of the region. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I dropped.
Yeah, shit. I have myself muted. I forgot.
Okay, sorry. I was just finishing up what Casey was saying there, since he's having technical issues. Yeah.
But so when the search party found the, God damn it. Sorry for the hiccups, everybody. God, it's fucking annoying.
I'm enjoying every hip and hop here.
So when the search party found the tent, God damn it. When the search party found the tent,
word every time.
They found a flesavuku, the boots of the hikers, clothes, maps, and a plate of salo, which is white pork fat that was already cooked and shit. And they found the tent slashed from the inside, indicating that there was a desperate need to escape.
Yeah, Simeon, dude, he was fucking touching everybody in their sleep, and they're like, knock it off. It's like, oh, he's getting handsy.
Footprints were found outside the tent, and it made it clear that the hikers left without any shoes on, which is kind of weird, because they're experienced hikers. Why the fuck would you leave your tent without any shoes on?
Yeah,
and in the snow.
Yeah,
like, bro,
and
you're like, you forget you forget your shoes when you go to take a piss in the snow. You come back with your toes looking like Wesley's hand.
They also left a diary at the scene. The diary shed some light on their journey, and there's nothing in the diary that would lead to any point showing. Oh my God, I can't talk. They left a diary there in the tent too, and it showed no signs of trouble or doubt, only optimism. So it's not like they had anything in the diary that it was harsh anywhere.
The thing that surprises me is the cut was from the inside, right?
Yeah,
They
they
cut the cut.
slashed it like they slashed it from the inside of the tent, like they were desperately trying to get out, but all the tracks leading in the snow were calm and like the indentation of the tracks were very light, like indicating that they were like, and the markings of them, they weren't running in terror or anything. They were walking calmly down.
Yeah, and like if it looks like calmly walking, it could show that someone wasn't being carried because the imprints weren't.
Yeah, and there's actually a theory I read. So I think it was Igor Dyatlov's. They had a fucking makeshift fucking stove thing that he made that was like handmade that they would have in the tent and cooking, and they believed that it caught fire and the smoke from it. They were desperately trying to get out because they couldn't breathe, and in the middle of the night, possibly the smoke, they thought the tent caught on fire. So they being drunk, like some of them were, thought that maybe they can get down. They were closer to the woods than what they actually were. There's a whole fucking leading events, but I didn't know about the fire thing at first when I was reading about the stuff. There's a picture of the guy whose jacket looks like it's burnt up before the day before they went missing or some shit. How they knew
can't
it
wait
the
to
day
get
before, I
into
don't fucking
these
know.
conspiracies about this shit.
But apparently a lot of the bodies had burn marks on them. So
only two of them.
Only two of them did? Oh, okay. Yeah, some of them. But yeah, that was just one theory, maybe why they rushed out and calmly went down the fucking side. But yeah, we'll get into the other.
There was so the search party that found them, they were confused on what they discovered, and they ended up finding. I just want to throw this point in, like this little tidbit in there. They ended up finding a flask inside the tent. And the search party fucking took the flask, and they're like, "Well, we're gonna toast our boys, basically." And
drink that shit. We're like, "Hey, let's pass it around."
This is a quote. Let me tell you this quote. We shared the vodka between us. There was 11 of us, including the guides. We were about to drink it, and one guy turned to me and said, "Best not drink to their health, but to their internal peace." Like, I was like, that's the most fucking Russian goddamn thing you could ever fucking do. Take the flask of vodka. Let's drink to our comrades.
Best not drink to their health. Drink to them resting in peace. They just fucking take a sip. God, that's some good shit. Is there any more? Search for more.
Search for more vodka. It is cold out here.
Continue. No more. Continue to look for corpse.
Comrade Igor, you find anything?
Or Yuri, because there was a couple of Yuris in that in the missing hiker. Yeah, in the party. So I only assume there was a couple of Yuris out of those fucking 11 plus people that went searching for him. How many fucking Yuris are there? That's like the name Joe in Russian, apparently. Like a common ass fucking name. Oh man.
So let's
Yuri is like the John of Russia.
It's the John of fucking Russian.
Like, you know how like the regular name that they give, like, is John Doe, because or like John Smith is such a normal name. Like over there, it's like Yuri
Doshinsky.
Yuri Dyatlov.
Instead of John Doe, Donsky or Doshinsky or something.
Like Yuri Popov or something like that.
No, it's Yuri Smirnov. No, fuck you.
Now, fucking goddamn hiccups piss me off.
So are you getting into the bodies in there?
Yeah, I was just gonna talk about how they were found. If I can actually talk.
And the names of the first two discovered, which are the Yuris.
Yeah, well, why don't you talk about them, and I'll try to stop Pinocchioing.
All right. So they were tracking the footprints half a kilometer from the tent before the trail of the footprints were like gone. They like covered in snow. But they continued down the edge of down towards the edge of the forest.
1 second. Sorry. So there was no blood or anything. There was
No,
just
they only had
a burnt tent with a slash in it.
Yeah, and there was holes in there was holes in it and everything else. Like it was all like tore up. Yeah. So after they drank that vodka, yeah. Okay. So they they didn't find no blood.
Right. Sorry.
Yeah, there was no blood found up there. So they fall after even though the trail was like covered by snow and everything, there's no more footprints. They still continued down to the edge of the forest where they discovered the remains of like a makeshift campfire and the frozen bodies of two of the hikers, Yuri Doroshenko and Yuri Krivonishenko. I don't know how you say those last names, but those bodies they found. So they were underdressed. God damn, I can't talk. So they were underdressed and missing like clothing, as they're saying all their stuff was in the tent still. So they're basically.
You should know that like when you get invited to a party in the woods, you're supposed to like get a suit and shit, dress up.
You're supposed to dress up, and they were just like not. They were underdressed for the fucking
underdressed for the underdressed for the occasion.
How embarrassing! Now they're
fucking tacky. Like, oh my god.
Yeah, now they're in hell forever in shitty clothes. I'm just kidding. Go to hell, right? I'm just playing. That's fucked up. So yeah, they're missing like their boots, pants, jackets, or anything needed to combat the harsh, icy climate. Just like underpants, undershirts, and socks, like bedwear, essentially. Like, so it's like they just in the middle of the night. Yeah.
So maybe if they were in their bedwear and their shit caught fire, you would get the fuck out of that.
Yeah, struggling out. Yeah. And so the cedar tree near their bodies had signs of being climbed, like there was like damage to it, like looked like somebody's climbing up, sticks broken or whatever, as if they were searching for sanctuary or hiding from someone or something. It's like they are saying that they either climbed up there like looking for some kind of like sanctuary, some place like maybe where their camp was or their tent, or they were hiding from something or someone or someone.
Well, they also started a fire, so maybe they were breaking the lower branches off.
Yeah, that's also
firewood. Yeah, if that's all they have.
I never read that in any of the goddamn hiccups, man. I never read that in any of the.
He's trying to scare you.
Yeah, you scared me.
Casey's like, I pooped a little, but my hiccups.
Great. Sorry, Joe.
No. I didn't read that in any of the things. Like I was like, nobody came to the conclusion that they were fucking trying to grab firewood.
That was probably it. Actually, I didn't even think about that. So none of
the articles I read said like, oh yeah, there was broken branches because they were using it as firewood. But I guess there would be evidence of that if they were actually using those tree branches. Like if they had like fucking I don't know what kind of trees they have in Russia, but I'm gonna say like
it was a cedar tree.
It was a cedar tree.
Okay, so
but a green
they would
tree
see cedar
in the
branches
snow?
like being burned.
Yeah,
like they ain't getting that shit lit.
Yeah,
a fucking. So not only is it probably wet because there's snow on the ground, and
apparently that's fired in because they fucking froze to death right there in front of them.
and they're using green wood. Like, yeah, dude, they didn't get that shit lit.
That should be a nickname for an STD. Greenwood. I got the Greenwood guys. Yeah, I'm not sure
that green model.
I'm pretty sure cedar's a hardwood too, so that's hard to light anyways, isn't it?
Oh, I'm not sure.
I feel like it smokes a lot at
well, hardwood.
I'm not a forestry
it burns really hot, but it's so hard to get it lit. Like if you like almond wood or oak wood and shit like that, or like a lot of like fruit tree wood, hardwoods, you gotta get a fire really going with a good bed of coals just to get that shit lit, even if it's split.
They got that shit lit and split somehow. I don't know. I don't know what they used. They could have just used brush and probably tried to start a fire. Regardless, it wasn't enough to save them. I forget the degrees they said it was, but it was like a ridiculous fucking in Celsius. I don't know.
It was probably fucking negative Fahrenheit for sure.
Yeah. And whatever the fucking Celsius, who knows? But yeah, so the next 3 hikers were found at different distances between the tent and the tree there. And they were buried in a few centimeters of snow. They were better dressed than the previous 2, but still lacked the essential gear like boots, hats, and gloves. And were all facing the direction of the tent as if they were trying to make it back to the tent before dying. Like they were struggling to get back to the tent. All 5 of them died of hypothermia, while 4 of them were also intoxicated at the time of their death. They've like figured out. So, and not all of them were completely drunk. So,
dude, apparently freezing to death is very nice.
Oh, is it comforting? That's good. That's
well, here's the thing. Your body.
What I've been told, it's like going to sleep.
You start to feel warm, even though you're not, and then you go to sleep, and then you just don't wake up.
Oh, that's kind of peaceful.
Yeah. So it's not like you're you're suffering. Like you're just so
your body literally just shuts down. It just stops working.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, we're not PCs. So.
And that's well, so you say.
So the remaining 4 were discovered at the bottom of a small hill covered in 3 meters of snow, 75 meters from the tree opposite of the tent.
How far? 9 in our American
9 feet of snow. Pretty much a meter is about 3 feet.
Oh, okay. So
but like they were under 9 feet of snow.
Yeah. So
that's not shit though. 9 foot of snow is not anything though. If it's like 9 foot of snow is on top of me, I guarantee you I can fucking dig my way out.
You're fucking lying.
Well, 3 out of the
you guys ever seen that video of that snowboarder? That snowboarder who fell into it. You guys ever seen the video of the snowboarder who fell into a tree well and got dug out by a skier?
Oh, I thought you were gonna say a bear, and I was gonna be like, dude, that'd have been dope.
Yeah, this
bear dug him out.
Skier saved the snowboarder's life and dug him out. This dude was only like he was upside down like this, so his head was 4 feet under snow, but his feet were
he was vertical. He was already chilling in a fucking tent,
dude,
hiding behind a ledge.
Packed snow is heavy, man.
Dude, I thought you were gonna say that he fell into a hole.
I know what snow is like. I had to do a fucking snow walk with my kids. My kids the like a month ago.
Bro, you know? I don't think you're digging yourself out from 9 foot of snow.
I guarantee you, if my life was on the line, I can dig myself out of a fucking situation.
Well, let's bury you in snow and find out.
Let's do it. Fucking waterboard me too, bitch.
You know how cool that story would have been if a skier fell into that and a polar bear dug him out and he was like, thank you. I'll spend the rest of my life protecting you. And then as he's leaving, he gets on a private jet, slamming down fucking natty ices and chucking the cans out the plane window. Let's forget how gravity and everything else works, like velocity. He's just doing this like he's driving in a car. Okay.
He was sitting, the polar bear digs him out. He's like, "Hey, you need a Coke," and he pops open a fucking Coke, like an old ass one.
Yeah, and then like the polar bear throws the bottle into the water, and it's like polar bears, the real reason for climate change. Like it's an ad to fucking blame fucking nature for fucking.
It's like one of those NBC's the more you know thing. It's like, don't give polar bears your trash. They'll just throw it in the waterways.
They don't have a fun fact. Polar bears are recycling bins. They don't. So 3 out of the remaining 4 that fell, like fucking pieces of shit. I'm just kidding. I'm sorry for their losses. They suffered lethal injuries. One had fractured skull, while the other 2 had multiple fractured ribs and suffered severe internal bleeding. These injuries were determined by a medical examiner to be the result of a fall comparable to a car crash. It was also noted that the injuries happened while alive and ruled out being inflicted by another person. unless it was a snow hulk, fucking snow hulks. All right. Like, let me tell you, I wrote that down so I didn't forget that joke. And I just read it in a serious manner and tried to readjust it because I just pictured a fucking Snow White Hulk with like fucking fur just ravishing these poor people, just unprovoked, just jumping down
So-
and just like, "Whoa!"
Well, the official
that's the
report
weird
says
thing.
the cause of their demises was an overwhelming force which the hikers were not able to
Yeah,
overcome.
Snow Hulk. You can't overcome a Snow Hulk. Your mind.
That's the official cause of their fucking investigation.
See, that's
Now-
the weird part. Like, I thought they passed. Me not knowing this stuff, I thought they passed away from the cold. That makes sense, but no, they were
It
beaten.
says-
to
And
death.
then
Yeah, it says
And
they
after their cause of the accident, the investigation was closed and declared top secret.
Like, okay, hold on. So
Oh, and by the way, the
if
head
it was
injury
just one,
was
if it was just one with injuries, that
The
motherfucker probably
instructor-
climbed up a tree and fell down.
the
you know?
instructor was the one with the head injuries, and
Yeah, but other
And it
ones
was
had other
because-
injuries.
it's because he was a raper, dude. That's it. Yeah, I know. The other ones succumbed through to injuries too.
Yeah, so they got attacked
So,
by something.
Yeah, and here's the other thing.
Unless they
two of
fell
the-
down a hill.
Two of the, and that
But
that's
I
one
don't
of the
know what the
theories.
terrain.
Something about falling into a fucking something about the ground collapse. They weren't aware in the dark and
Okay.
slid off that
Yeah, we're
cliffside.
talking about your mom, Joseph.
They were off a cliffside. Some people thought that they might have triggered a small avalanche somehow. So yeah, but two of those victims were missing their eyeballs. So two of the victims were missing their eyeballs, and one woman was missing her tongue. But people are also saying that scavengers could have done that after they found their dead bodies,
Yeah.
which is believable. The last of the
Why-
four had
why
a
would they-
broken
why would they
nose.
take
But why only the two? And
Yeah,
and
why
then
would
the
they take
one,
the
you know,
eyes and the?
so,
Why
like,
would they take? If they're
why would
scavenger,
they take them all? And then why would there not be any like knob points or like?
Dude, because Simeon had his tongue buried in one of their assholes before he died.
This is Mother Russia. We don't care about this shit. You know, we just investigate, and then when we investigate this is the.
No, but hold
Can
up.
someone give me a bottle of vodka so we can
Let me
take
just
a
say
drink
this.
for my investigation?
Let me
If
just
it
say
was-
this last part.
if
The
it
last
was-
of the last
if
of the four had a broken nose and distorted neck, but also died of hypothermia. So that
If-
one didn't come to his injuries. So he
if it
died with a broken nose and distorted neck, just
Yeah.
freezing to death. Sorry, I just wanted to finish up
Yeah.
those last fours.
if it was scavengers, why take the eyes and the tongue? If it's a scavenger, like you're eating or something,
Soft
You gotta cut-
tissue.
you gotta-
That's why.
you gotta cut off some fucking like calf.
People were thinking
muscle.
a fox or something came by, and
Yeah,
and those
but-
are
Yeah,
fun.
like an animal came by. And,
Why the- why the tongue, though?
and the scavengers always go for the soft tissues: eyes, nose, mouth, tongue. You know, all that shit. But
Cage is like, I
but
should
it was-
know.
but it was so- why is it only the couple of the people that had that shit happen to them, not the majority?
You think
the
the
majority
fingers
of
would be
them.
visible
those ones were down a
for
hillside.
the ears or
Those
something.
ones I think were the farthest away. They were also in the opposite direction of everybody else. So I mean, there could have been something just in that general direction. I don't know how far they made it.
But, like,
and also
The
Casey would know because
eyes and tongue are in stuff.
Casey used to sit at Stump's Field and wait for tweakers to OD, and he would peck out their eyes and tongues and eat them. Just playing. Yeah, sorry, Mike. What were you saying? What'd you say?
Like the eyes and the tongue, they're in sockets. They're in things. Like it's hard to get those. Why? Like that doesn't make sense. It's like, oh, it's the Rakins. It's the goddamn Rakins.
Yeah, and they only
Interaction
grabbed one
tongue.
woman's tongue, but two of the victims were missing their eyeballs. Only one person had their tongue missing too.
It's weird. That's
Yeah,
weird. Like,
I mean,
why-
maybe they
why-
got one tongue and they were like, "I ain't pulling out another tongue, dude. That was hard." as
Like,
fuck."
why not? Like, if you're trying to get meat, you'd want to go for like the calf muscle and bicep, fucking thigh. You know what I mean?
I don't know how sharp fucking foxes teeth. Like, I don't know what they can rip through.
But then again, but if it's a fox, why wouldn't it tear their ear off?
But I also
Maybe the
read that
finger.
it took 2 months to find, or over 2 months to find like all the bodies together. I don't know. That's what I read. So I don't know how fucking decomposed they were when they found. I mean, they seemed pretty in.
I mean, they were frozen
Yeah.
like a turkey. So
Yeah, so I mean, they were probably pretty well deserved, or well deserved, well preserved. They didn't get what was well deserved. Right?
jeez, Joe, tell us what you really
coming
think.
to you.
You got what you're coming, you cocky young people in the eyes. So, as they were discovering all this stuff, though, like later when they discovered three, I've read that it was three, or it was some of the people, but like more things said there was 3 articles of clothing were found that were radioactive. But I read that it was
Yes.
some bodies were radioactive, but also apparently they also carried around radioactive thorium lanterns, whatever that is. Apparently they had, and then another theory thing I actually watched from a video said that the clothing actually belonged to
Thank you, good sir.
one of them, Kolotov, which he previously worked at a facility developing nuclear materials, and Krivonishenko, I can't say that name,
Thank you, guys.
had previously worked at a top secret plutonium production plant for nuclear weapons. Like, but that's weird to me. I don't know if that's a fact that they both worked with the fucking things, or if that's what people are claiming they did. So I don't really know. That was both of the or one of those.
So that's back to that. They were working at a.
Were they
one of the
working?
guys?
Okay.
That's one of the theories is the reason why they were killed is because one of them was working at the
Yeah, and it
and,
began to bust out the levels of radiation and what's, because a lot of things give off radiation of how much is a dangerous amount and all this other stuff. But I don't have a scientific brain, and that's just a fancier way of saying I'm stupid.
I do.
Yeah,
Dude, Casey, you look fucked up.
I am.
How you feeling?
No,
You look drunk. Your eyes are all glassy and shit.
I am. No, so let's get into like the.
Oh, can I just name off the? Can I? Oh, did you have the list of all the people? Is that what you're getting into?
No, you can do that.
Okay, yeah. So so the Soviets declared the deaths were caused by a compelling natural force. That was their like vague term of it. Yeah.
Yeah,
and
so snow beasts.
Snow Hulk, dude. That's where the radiation came from. So there was the leader, Igor Dyatlov or whatever, 23, male, hypothermia, cause of death. Alexander oh god, dude, Kolivatov, I don't know, 24, male, hypothermia.
Sorry to interrupt you again, but
no, it's fine.
What the fuck does contorted neck mean?
I have no idea.
It's not broken, but it's like weird. Looks weird.
when you play what is it, like Fallout or fucking Elder Scrolls or something, when somebody dies weird and their neck contorts a little bit. That's what I think of, like their neck is vibrate, like the older games. Their neck would be vibrating
as like an injury. Does that mean he had a broken neck?
That's what I'm thinking, but apparently that's not what killed him. That's the fucking torturous sounding part. He didn't die of the broken neck. So he just like has a broken neck and he's just dying of hypothermia.
Just ouch.
Yeah, ouch. So tired. Ouch. Getting sleepy. Ouch. Ludmila? God, dude, I can't say that name.
Ludmilla.
Dubanina. 20.
Dubanina.
Female. Internal bleeding. Nicola. Oh yeah. Oh wait. I don't know whose skull was crushed in, because there's 2 people with head injuries that died. Nikolai Thibio Brignoli. I'm saying these names all fucked up. He was 23, a male, head injury. We got Rust Slobodin, 23, male, hypothermia. Simeon Zolotarov, whatever, the older guy, 38. What? See, was it 37 or 38? I had several different ones. Anyways, male head injury. Yeah, close enough. Late 30s. Then the 2 Yuris, one Doroshenko was 21, Krivonoshenko was 23, both males, hypothermia. Those are the first fellas.
Those ones had no no
Kolmogorov.
injuries. The 2 Yuris didn't have any injuries.
No, they were the ones that had the makeshift fire and the
Oh,
tree thing at the beginning.
okay.
They were the
Oh, so
first bodies
they got the
found.
fuck out of there.
Yeah, they were the
They-
first ones found. And then Zenaida Kolmogorova, I don't know, 22 female hypothermia. There's only 2 females on the journey, which is why Simeon was trying to fuck everybody.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm trying to force this.
Yeah, you are.
Pretty hard.
Okay, so 3 of them being the 2 Yuris and 1 chick. Fucking, they left whatever the fuck was happening. They got away.
Yeah, so the Yuri
didn't get any injuries, but died of hypothermia.
Yeah,
The
so
other
they
ones
got
left at the
easier
camp
ones.
got the shit kicked out of them by someone.
Yeah, the ones that went the opposite direction, fucking what it makes it look like is they slid off of fucking something or something like fucking pushed them down something and they end up suffering
Or
from
beat them with a
injuries.
club, something.
Yeah. The thing they were saying, like the way the medical examiner described it, it was like they were hit by a fucking car.
Yeah.
It
What's
was
the
like
Russian
something
equivalent to a
massive.
banjo? Because they're in like the woods areas. So it's like
The equivalent to a redneck Russian just out in the middle of nowhere. Can anybody do a fucking
You ever seen Russian Deliverance? There's just as much rape, but there's a lot more beating with clubs.
damn? Well, I am a sucker for a good bludgeoning, so that's such a brutal way to die. If you think about like being
beat to death?
beat to death rather
That's
than fucking
like-
cut up.
Bro, like when you think about like that, like
One
these
of the
murderers who
people,
beat or strangle people to death, strangling's the most intimate way to fucking kill someone, but beating someone to death, that takes some effort, I'd think.
yeah, there's a
like,
lot of
dude,
aggression in
like
it because you have to
strangling someone to death,
constantly
that takes-
bash and bash.
That takes time.
Yeah,
Like you gotta strangle someone for like 3 minutes for them to die.
that's like
3 minutes is a long time to be put in constant pressure.
Yeah, that's what that
Like
and then
someone
the
who strangles
bludgeoning,
people to death,
then-
you gotta go, wow, that's some dedication.
Yeah, see that's what the
I
strangling
get a
would be
hand
like
cramp
the
or
most
something. It's
effective.
like shit.
Oh yeah, hold
Like
on, time out.
my hand cramps up when I try to jerk, and I'm not squeezing nearly as hard as.
One of the people, I forget fucking the thing because I didn't write it down. Their belly was supposedly filled with like. There's nothing funny about your whole stomach being filled with blood, Casey. That's what I was trying to get out. But they're saying that there's no actual whatever proof that it was actually filled with blood, that they could have been food mixed with blood, made it look larger, something. I can't remember. I didn't write it down like an idiot because I had to go and
So it might not have been internal bleeding.
so yeah, one of them might not have been. Yeah, so I think it was the female one. It might. Well, it was still internal bleeding. I don't know, but it maybe not. I don't know. They were saying though it might not have been as much blood as it was on the report because of the other stuff in her stomach that they found or something. Semen mainly. That's just kidding. Yeah, but I don't know if that means that it wouldn't have been internal bleeding or if just the amount of blood that they've said on record wasn't accurate. So that's all the regular shit there, the stuff. And Casey, why don't you go ahead and bring in the conspiracies, the theories?
Conspiracy.
Bring in the snow hole.
Conspiracies. So let's get to some official report shit. So they said it was possibly the reason why the demise happened was due to an avalanche or a snow slab. And
What the
this
fuck is a
area
snow
was not.
slab? Is that like an avalanche but smaller? Like it's a sheet.
I'll tell
that
you. I'll
comes
tell
off?
you in a second if you fucking let me.
I'd
talk.
rather die from an avalanche than a
Okay.
snow slab. That seems like a bitch avalanche.
Right?
Casey, you think you're safe from a dick slapping just because you're in Idaho? But let me tell you what.
Let me show you how big my dick is hard.
Think I won't welcome a dick slapping? That's your problem.
Casey's like, I will open it with open arms and mouth open.
Mouth.
Arms wide open and mouth.
It was not. This part of the mountain was not avalanche prone, and this theory suggests like if it were to happen, the group fled their tent due to the snow, due to a slab avalanche, and a slab avalanche is when a compacted block of snow slides down a slope when the underlying weaker snow gives away. So like basically like here's your here because they set their tent up at the end of this thing. So basically like this snow gives away and it slides down and it fucking hits them. And then there was combining factors that would have to be a part of this shit. There was mountain winds known as Quebec winds, which I'll talk about in a minute.
Casey, you forgot that you brought up slab. What was it? Slab.
So a slab avalanche is instead of you getting hit by all this nice powdery snow, you're being hit by what is essentially a 14-ton slab of granite.
Okay, so what about a slag avalanche where you're just buried in pussy?
Honestly, when you said slag avalanche, I was just like, I thought of shale rock avalanche.
I just thought of what is
Or
it,
like
like
I thought of welding slag, to be honest.
was it like British people? Somebody refers to slags as promiscuous women.
But if
I heard it in the
theory
borders.
is correct, and this is the most recognized theory for what happened. If they were hit by that slab avalanche, it's basically getting hit by a fucking car if you're just standing on the side of the road and someone fucking hits you. And
could you imagine? Sorry,
but it doesn't make sense though, because like this is like the most like of the most like credited theory, but it doesn't make sense to me honestly, because when you get hit by a fucking vehicle, because I've been hit by a car on the side of the road. It fucking flew me 15 yards off to the side. I couldn't walk. I had to have my buddy come and pick me up. Shit fucking hurt. And then for like 3 weeks, whole side of my body bruised and everything.
And then you froze and died of hypothermia?
No, I would have probably. No, it was like springtime. But
how old were you when you got hit by a car?
huh?
How old were you?
Like 23 maybe.
Damn.
I still have problems from it. So they say that they were hit with this slab avalanche, which doesn't make sense to me because I've been hit by a car going 40 miles an hour, and I was on the ground and I couldn't move. And they're saying this slab avalanche, which is a fucking block of basically ice, is coming down and hitting them, and they got hit by that shit. And that's the reason why they cut themselves out of the tent, but which doesn't make any sense because they were sleeping on their skis, is what the reports say. They were on their skis, and that's the reason why they had fractured ribs and all this shit. But I don't believe a second of that shit. That sounds like some Soviet Union fucking. Oh, I'm gonna fucking make an excuse for this shit. Hey, this is Mother Russia. We don't give a fuck if how these guys died. But all we give a fuck about is we found the vodka. We found the vodka and we started drinking, and then this drinking led to us figuring out how these guys died. I mean, I feel like that was kind of racist against Russian people because especially because the Russian guy is the one who provides our artwork. Give a shout out to that guy, whatever his name is. Might get to cut this because I don't fucking know his name off the top of my head. So sorry about that. But they also said it could have been a thing of it could have been a source of combatic winds, and this one makes more sense to me. This one makes more sense to me. I don't know if you guys read about the combatic wind thing. Have you guys?
No.
So this is basically so it derives from the word kibises, I guess it's the Greek word. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but it's when warm air, well, it's when cold air. Hold on, let me read this. It's when cold air because cold air has a higher density than it's when cold air has a higher density than the atmosphere, and it can and it drops down because heat rises, cold falls, and at this point the cold air is falling, and then usually this usually happens around fucking like glaciers and shit, like large glaciers, like ice sheets and stuff. But it's on occasion it happens around like mountains, and then this could have happened on the mountain, and basically it's like hurricane force winds that come down off the side of this shit, But
Damn.
it doesn't make sense of why they would cut their tent open. But in their note in their diary shortly before the accident, well, I mean, how shortly is shortly, unless they timestamp that shit. But before their accident, they said the air was warm and it had a jet engine like feel to it, like that's how warm the air was. And if this would have happened at the night of the shit that went down, it would explain why why they would have abandoned their tent so quickly, because the powerful wind was fucking tearing apart their shit. But and also on the same note though, because I was reading this, and it doesn't make sense though, because if that's like hurricane force winds is not going to stand up against a tent, and your tent's not going to be standing the day after, or like 2 weeks after, and that's when they found them, and it just doesn't make any fucking sense to me. Joseph, I see your hands going up. Are you trying to say?
Oh
something,
no,
or-
I was just messing with it. Sorry.
No, I
My-
wasn't sure if I was just cutting
lagging.
you off and you were trying to like get my attention or something.
No, I probably shouldn't be doing that in the camera. It just looked like everything was lagging from my end on the camera, not the. Yeah.
Probably because your fucking Wi-Fi shit. No, I'm just kidding.
Your Wi-Fi shit.
It really is. No, but I just don't understand, like, if that was like a cause of death, kinetic wind, then why the fuck would all that other, like, because if hurricane force winds, I've never been in a hurricane myself, but I'm assuming because I've seen like videos and shit, and they're fucking tearing roofs off of houses, fucking
Yeah.
tearing shit down. You think a fucking tent's gonna stand up against that shit? I don't think so. And that tent would be shredded. Even if it was still standing, the tent would be shredded, And it just doesn't make any sense to me. And then that's when the next theory comes in.
Wasn't the
hurricane
tent fucked up though? Or no, it had holes and a cut in it.
There was a cut that was cut from the inside, but the tent itself was like there was snowfall on top of it, so it imploded on itself. But the stakes were still standing. That's what I don't get.
So that's the video I was watching with the like they had that makeshift stove. It had like an exhaust or whatever you'd call it, pipe sticking out of the tent.
Uh-huh.
I think that's a picture of it. They were saying that it might have relit itself while they were sleeping, and the tent filled with air, and they were getting causes like bleeding from the fucking something from inhaling smoke or something. I don't know, but they were saying that could have happened, which is why they were struggling so much to get out. Like they were cutting holes in a tent to let the smoke out.
They were suffering from smoke inhalation.
Yeah, and so that's what they're saying is a possibility because so they were like stabbing to get air out, and then they struggled to rip open from the
That
inside.
doesn't make sense, because that would be a definitive proof. If that was the case, there would be smoke on the tent. There would be evidence of this shit. But
they said there were singe marks on a lot of the stuff, and including people's clothes and then their skin too, like 2 of them.
But that doesn't explain the radiation that was found on a couple of
lanterns.
But like they were saying, the lanterns that they carried had what was it?
Joseph, you're roboting.
Oh shit. Yeah, some of them are holding. They're saying it could be due to the fact that some of them carried radioactive thorium lanterns. I don't know exactly what those are, but they.
It's probably those like oil fucking gas lanterns from back in way back when.
And again, they said the clothing belonged to those people that had a background in working with radioactive shit, like the plutonium, secret plutonium, whatever facility thing, and all that. But I don't, I don't know. They try to break down the science in one of the videos of the science of the amount of radiation they found on them and the clothing or whatever. But I just, I didn't understand any of it because I'm not that smart. So it's just like
I had a shit ton of fucking information about this shit, but like they also said that it was like a lightning strike or a ball lightning might have frightened them. They said ball. Oh well, let me tell you what ball lightning is. It's an unexplained astronomical phenomenon that this term refers to the reports of illuminous spherical objects which vary in diameter from pea size to several meters and is associated with thunderstorms, but last longer than a split second, like a flash lightning does. It's like it comes down in a ball and it fucking like it's there for a minute, you know. And the Mansi, is that how we were saying those guys?
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure how you pronounce it, but yeah, MANSI. So I would say Mansi or Mansi. I don't know.
I'm gonna say Mansi. The Mansi people blame the golden orbs for the tragedy. Other reliable witnesses corroborated the story of these orbs coming down and striking them. Oh, not striking them, but striking down. And then I guess this spot, because of the lightning strikes, was melting the snow and unmelting and blah blah blah. It was a hot spot for them, and from what they found on their makeshift tripod, suggests that they were observing something that was going on in the sky, which would make sense, you know, if ball lightning was coming down, you know, you'd want to fucking see that shit, you know. And the two that were found near the tree, there's a theory that they possibly would have been their cause of death would have been from electrocution because they had the burned hands, the burned feet, blah blah blah, you know.
Oh,
And
like they
I've been
got
electrocuted. I've been electrocuted before, and shit
yeah.
sucks.
If you get electrocuted bad, it does burn your feet because you ground out.
They also said the group might have died from a herd of reindeer.
That's weird.
Oh, like Mufasa?
Have you heard about this?
That's rain weird. But Santa Claus was coming down and they got in the way and they knew too much, so he fucking murked all of them. Ho ho ho, and kept on.
No, there was
consistency of their injuries. They say that a reindeer might have trampled over them.
Yeah, there was like a reindeer stampede, and they tried to climb out, and then like the three that had left before, like was like, "Here, I'll help you up," and then they're like, "Long live the king," and they threw them down into that shit.
This is whatever the mountain was called, and then they started to kick them.
Jackass.
Fuck you. All right,
Bill, for speed of pleasure, you motorboat them, you motorboat some bitch, you old sailor, you. Woo. Fuck's wrong with you?
So
no, they also said a Wolverine might have caused the accident. You know,
fucking
with,
Weapon X.
Damn, dude, I didn't know Logan was out there.
With his what the fuck is his metal name? I can't even think of it right now.
His metal name?
The metal in it, adamantium.
Adamantium.
Yes. That's what it is. I couldn't think of it.
I thought you said his metal name, and I was like, it's probably Berserker. This is metal name.
Well, there's one thing that I do know, that the Wolverines do like to kick the Russians' ass.
So
is it a sports thing, Mike?
Fucking Red Dawn, bro.
But There's a theory that they were on shrooms.
Oh,
I'm gonna go fix this hiccups real quick because they're bad.
I think Casey's about to puke.
I think he is too. I think he drank too much.
Yeah, he's pretty fucked up. Do you know about the conspiracies at all?
I don't. I only got the basic information down. I have a hard time not putting too much in a note. I keep telling myself just gonna jot down the basic shit and then get right to the conspiracy stuff, and then I end up fucking not getting the conspiracy shit because I spend too much time doing.
I mean, we got quite a bit on this. We could probably just end it.
Yeah, we probably could. Yeah, because I didn't know. I thought there was a Yeti one that he was gonna get into.
So obviously the shroom one is that they were on some psychoactive drugs, and they without that they were being
pretty much they-
kidnapped or what
Yeah.
have you when you're out in the fucking woods, and
They could have gotten paranoid, freaked out as a group, and then split up or something.
there's also the theory of Arctic hysteria. They were out there in the Arctic, obviously, and
Doing Arctic stuff.
one of them just freaks out.
Mm.
What?
Is it
One
like
of
a
them gets
cabin,
out of-
like a cabin fever type thing? Just one of them
Yes.
goes nuts. Yeah, but like,
and kills them all.
yeah, but then there'd be well, I mean, there were 3 that died of hypothermia. They could have killed the rest. Okay, here we go. So the military one. In one speculation, the campsite that they were in fell within the purview of a Soviet parachute mine. This theory alleges that the hikers were awoken by loud explosions and fled the tent in a shoeless panic and found themselves unable to return to supply retrieval. After some members froze to death attempting to endure the bombardment, others commandeered their clothing only to be fatally injured by subsequent parachute mine concussions. But yeah, apparently, like, I didn't do much reading, but apparently there's one on a Yeti, which you were talking about a snow hulk, and
Yeah.
if there is a snow hulk, it would be a Yeti.
Yeah. Minus all the radiation, or maybe
Yeah.
not.
I don't know what to think about this one, but it's like I have a feeling that the ones that are injured, I have no idea what happened to them, but the ones that died of freezing, they wandered off from whatever happened, for sure. The ones that were injured could have been fucked up by a military exercise, like I just read there, or a Yeti. It could have been anything. They could have just fucking fallen down a hill.
Yeah, I think I lean more towards the burning stove thing.
Yeah, that seems about right.
Yeah, but what I really want to believe is there's a snow hulk out there.
Yeah.
But that's not what I believe at all. It's just a fun idea. Just like
Yeah.
Yeti. But I picture the Hulk with the fur. Around.
Yeah. Casey.
All right. Well, then we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up. Casey's final thoughts.
I'm here.
Okay, what do you think of this? What do you think happened?
It's wild, in my opinion.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, well,
All right.
Thank you guys for listening. It was a hell of an episode. Tune in next week.
Where we probably talk about Nazis again.
Yeah. I think we do. I think it's Nazi
yeah,
super
it's
soldiers.
Nazi super soldiers.
But yeah, thank you guys for listening.